Hello class, I'm going to talk with you about the first step in the color project. And that first step is choosing your compositional basis. This will be the basis for the color designs that you'll be making later. Okay, and there's two options you have. Option A is a photographic basis. So you get a photograph, okay, and you make this drawing from it. And then you're going to use this as the basis for your color designs later. Option B is to choose a shape type or combination shape types, and you make a drawing from that. And this can also be used to make your color designs. Okay, so let's talk about option A in a little more detail. So there's some photos that work well for this and some photos that don't work as well. Photos that are in focus work well. So you don't want a blurry photo like this. So more like this. You also want photos with strong value contrast within the objects. Okay, do you see within this cream, or this whipped cream, or is it soft serve? There's strong contrast across the form. There's evident lights and shadows. Where in this image, contrast is much lower, and this will make it more difficult in this project. The reason is because you're not going to be able to delineate as easily where the value changes are, which will be necessary to make your drawing. Also, you don't want photos that are overly complex. This right here is way too much. Way too much color penciling, way too much painting if you chose this image. This is just too simple. Okay. This is more what we're looking for. And I know it's a little subjective, like, okay, what's too complex, what's too simple. But use your best judgment, and if you have any questions, then let me know. And here's an example of a student who took the photographic basis approach. So the student was really into architecture, found a picture of a building she liked, and used that photograph as the basis for her design. Hello class, so I'm going to give you a demo on how to take your photograph and make it into a line drawing that can be used for your color project. And the first step is you're going to make sure that you print out your photograph at 4 inches by 4 inches. And you could do that in Microsoft Word, and you're going to make sure, whatever word processor you have, and you're going to make sure it's in black and white too. That'll make it easier for you. And you could do this process. I'm going to show you with tracing paper as well. But I'm going to show you another method I think is a little easier. And I would say print 2 of these out at 4 inches by 4 inches, and then print out another 2 at 8 inches by 8 inches. You only need to print out 1 image. I'm just printing out 2 so I could show you another example as well. Okay, so you're first going to put graphite on the back of your 4 inch by 4 inch image. And I would suggest doing this with one of the yellow pencils, one of these wooden pencils that's in the kit that I gave you. And it's easiest if you turn it sideways. And just go like this. Alright, and then what you're going to do, so what you could do is actually apply a little tape just to hold it down. I would get your blue tape and then just place it against your piece of clothing, maybe your jeans, and just do one of these. So if you look at my shirt, just place it on the shirt and pull it up. And what that's going to do is just make it not so sticky. And then what you do is kind of just do one of these. And this will help keep it lined up. Okay, so we're just going to draw the format first. And then we'll do this with a mechanical pencil to make the more precise line. So what you're going to do is you're going to delineate between the shifts in value. So for example, if you look at this area, do you see how there's a shape made by this cast shadow? You're going to outline that shape. Okay. Now let's delineate other value shifts. The important thing is that these make complete enclosed shapes, or I mean not enclosed shapes, but that the line completes itself and wraps around so that you get a shape. Okay, so you don't want it to be like this. You want your shape to be like this. Okay, because then it's a shape and not just a line. So you're just looking for the major shifts in value and you're delineating them with a line. You're making that line into a shape by making sure that it connects all around. Okay, now you see this cast shadow? I'm now going to delineate that with a line. Now I'm delineating the tree, trunk. Now I'm delineating this other cast shadow. Okay, let's see what it looks like. This is a moment of truth. Voila! Okay, so we have a series of lines, okay, that create shapes. And in some cases it didn't connect, but then we can always go through and fine tune it. Be careful when you pull this off, make sure it doesn't rip. Okay, and what you see is a series of shapes that we could then add color to later. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to do this one. Okay, so you're looking at this soft serve ice cream like, whoa, there's a lot going on there. But just pull your perception back, and keep it as simple as possible. And look for these major shifts in value. One way you could do that is you could separate into the lights and the shadows. Okay, the lights being the section of the object where the light hits it directly, and the shadows being the section of the object where the light hits it indirectly. So I'm just pulling myself back, not worried about details, I'm just looking for the major shifts in value. I think this is about as complex as I would get. Anything more complicated than this, it would be too much for this project. And sometimes if you turn it at an angle, you can see what you've drawn in, because the graphite will reflect. Moment of truth. Okay, there's our. Like I said, I did miss one line right here. I'll draw that in. Okay, so here we go. So we have a series of shapes that we could later color in. Alright, so that's how you do this part of the project. If you choose the photographic basis option. So let's talk about option B in a little bit more detail. So you're making a drawing using one of the shape types we discussed, biomorphic, non-objective, curvilinear, or rectilinear, or a combination of these. And really you got a lot of freedom with this option, but the same thing applies. You don't want to make something that's overly complex or terribly simple. And here's some examples. This is one I made. Here's one that a student made. Okay, not in my class, but in Gina Ferrari's class, whose work I found online. Okay, and let's look at an example of the student who took that approach. Right here, okay? And this is based off of this drawing. Now, if you have any questions about your source image or drawing, feel free to contact me. Now that I teach online, I'll be next to my computer a lot, and I can answer your questions fairly quickly.